I have recently spoken to Brian J. 1962, and don't get me wrong, I still hate him very, very much, and I agree 100% that the man should be executed on sight. But we were talking about the amount of arguing he's been doing lately, and I agree with his argument. I do, entirely. His argument is a counter-argument to the if not T, then A argument, which pretty much says anything other than atheist is an atheist. And what that argument says is that I, as the atheist, let's say I'm conducting a study across an infinite number of subjects, and I ask just one question: do you believe in God? And I will come across people that say, yes, I do believe in God. And I will come across people that say, no, I do not believe in God. And even though most of the time I will come across yeses and nos, I will occasionally come across the person that says, what the fuck is God? I have no idea what God is. You say there is a God, you say there isn't a God. There isn't enough consensus here for me to make up my mind. What the if not T, then A argument says, then at this point, I, as the atheist, should take this person to the side and say, come with me, you're one of us. What the if not T, then A argument is it's a shameless number ploy, and it's both cheap and devious. What it is that I, as the atheist, took this person who's never heard of God, and I won him over to my side, to my cause. And what that is a cheap and hollow victory. And I think that's why the people that hold on to the if not T, then A argument hold on to it so dearly, because they have so few victories in their life, and they take what they can get. Let's consider this. Yes is the opposite of no. And I think everyone will agree with me on that one. Now, let's let yes equal 1. The opposite of 1 is not 0. The opposite of 1 is -1. There's also a 0 in between. Additionally, there's an infinite number of other numbers in between. And this is why the if not T, then A argument is completely retarded. And if you don't agree with my analogy, if you want to criticize it or say anything about it at all, I'm not even going to wait for you, because my response is going to be, yes is the opposite of no, and I think we'll all agree with that. Let's let yes equal 2, and let's let no equal -2. There's an infinite number of numbers in between those two. And you might disagree with me fundamentally. You might be willing to argue with me until you're blue in the face. But let me just remind you that I am blue in the face. And I won't run out of numbers. If you disagree with my analogy, let me ask you the following question. Do you believe in fumble fluffs? This is a yes or no question. It's a question that's framed by the parameters yes or no, which means that the typical answer is going to be either yes or no. Those aren't the typical answers. That's actually the only answers that you can get from a yes or no question. But both of those answers are wrong. How can that be? If you say yes, you do believe in fumble fluffs, I will call you a fucking idiot. And I will call you a fucking idiot because fumble fluffs is a word I just made up. And if you say, no, I don't believe in fumble fluffs, you just made that word up, I'll tell you you're a fucking idiot, because fumble fluffs is what we call dandelions. And you just told me that you don't believe in something that in fact exists. You fucking idiot. Because I'm me, the correct answer to do you believe in fumble fluffs is what the fuck is a fumble fluff? The point I'm trying to make is, until you know what something is, you can't make up your mind one way or another about it. You can't say 1 or -1 until you move from 0. The default position is no position. And even though it sounds like no position isn't a position, 0 is still a number, isn't it? Kinda. Deal with it. Call it whatever you want and put it in the fucking dictionary. Alright? What the idiots who follow the if not T then A argument are doing is they're backing this argument up with bullshit. And what that's doing is it's causing the smarter atheists to look at you and say, you're a fucking idiot and here's why. Okay, but the problem is, it's like we're arguing with a Christian because their argument is, you're a fucking idiot and here's why. And you're too stupid to listen to us smart atheists. You are arguing over definitions. Oh my God, why? What you're doing is you are distracting people who do definitively call themselves atheists from what actually needs to be done. Okay? Listen. And listen well. If you are so gung-ho about how anything other than a theist is an atheist, and you're willing to back that up, great. If you can put so much thought into this argument, what you need to be doing is, instead of taking all of those hollow victories that you get from taking the people who say what the fuck and changing them to no's, What you need to be doing is you need to be working on taking the people who say yes and changing them to no. You need to be deconverting people, not preemptively unconverting people. It doesn't matter how you do it, really, either. You can recount all of the horrible results that religion has inflicted upon our world. You can form some sort of logical argument about how God is bullshit. Or you can even tell them about your torturous upbringing as a Catholic. But instead, what you're doing is you're taking the cheap way out. Because you're a fucking idiot. So, here's what you people need to do. You people who believe the if not T, then A argument. The people who believe that if you're not a theist, you have to be an atheist. What you need to do is, if this video hasn't changed your mind, you need to hang it up, stop what you're doing, become a Mormon. Because you really are not helping our cause at all.